Hey there, I'm John with Board Game Geek, and today we have Kim Brebeck here from Good Games Publishing.
Hey, John.
Now, it looks like you are showing us Guild Master.
That's right.
So what's going on here?
Well, Guild Master, you can kind of think of it as a kind of maybe D&D team manager type experience where you're managing a group of adventurers in an adventuring guild and trying to send them out to various objectives on the board. You do a bunch of planning behind some screens, which, you know, pretty big cutout screens.
Yeah.
Nice and thematic.
Lots of information on the inside.
Yeah, that's right. You get basically all the rules on the inside, the icon reference sheet, and all the tokens you might want to look at to not give away what you're looking at during the game.
Seems handy.
Back of the screen. So what we've got going on here, we've got 2 order boards in a 2-player setup, and we've programmed several orders for each team. This is like a starting setup. So in the beginning of the game, you're going to get 2 orders each, probably team size of 2. And we've got a couple of adventurers, and they've been programmed to go to specific spaces on the board. We do all this in secret behind the screen. So you're trying to puzzle out what you think your rivals are going to go for, and then work out the best place where you think you can get the most of what you can.
Okay.
So basically trying to upgrade your guild, hire adventurers, do contracts, and try and become the most famous guild in the land by the end of the game.
Right.
For example, this team here has been programmed to go to this spot, number 1 on the board. So that's over here. You can see the icons on the board. So these guys are going to go and try and tackle this particular contract here and try and do that one.
Yeah.
This team here, in their second order, is going to go and try and hire adventurer B.
Got it.
So you basically program that, but you've got to consider what your rivals are going to do, because you resolve all the first orders at the same time in sequence from left to right across the board. So sometimes you'll get what you want, and sometimes you'll miss out on what you want, and you've really got to look at what the other players are capable of doing and what you think they probably want to do to try and get that programming right. Sometimes you'll end up at the same place at the same time as somebody else, and there's various rules for resolving how you work out those kind of contests.
Okay.
You can be cooperative, but you can also conflict with
Okay.
a penalty to try and get it all.
Okay.
Even when you miss out because somebody's gone there first or you lose a conflict, there are backup things that you can do. They're usually not as good as the main thing you want to do, but you're always going to get something in every turn.
Well, that's good. So no skipped turns in this game.
No skipped turns, no lose a turn. So that's the essence of the game, but there's another layer of really nice sort of negotiation and politics, because you are trying to work out what's going on. You could, in fact, collude with another guild to try and go to the same place at the same time and cooperate to do something that's normally harder than you could do, and then try and do that to catch up to a leader. But there's also various catch-up cards in here. There's various ways that you can ping the leader for a few points, and you can collude with the people that are coming last to try and cooperate to make that happen.
Sure.
So lots of little catch-up mechanisms in the game, really tight. Good sort of social experience. You can sort of bribe people to make them target pinging effects at somebody else rather than yourself.
Yeah,
They're all rival guilds. You're not enemies. You're not at war with each other, but you're not best buddies either. So, so good. It's a 2 to 4 player game. Usually, a 2-player game is going to take about an hour. 4-player game about 2 hours.
Okay.
And you go through 9 rounds, and there's a kind of round tracking device. This is a bit unusual in the game. We've got a sequence of half full moons, and between rounds you flip over the moon token.
Okay.
And it changes throughout the game and changes various game state things on the board, including the cost of adventurers and which powers can be used.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah. We've also got in the contracts, as the more the heavier level contracts come out, there start to be effects that affect the whole game state throughout the game. So the first couple of rounds, you're just really playing the game. From rounds maybe 3, 4, 5 onwards, you start getting events to affect the game as well. So the game state changes, and you can do some things, can't do other things. Get a bonus for doing some things, or penalties for doing others. So the game kind of changes as you go. So it's got a really nice arc from early, middle, and late game, and you really feel this sense of hiring eventually legendary adventurers and doing legendary contracts by the end of the game. So it's got a nice kind of power curve.
Cool. Does it have asymmetry at the start of the game?
Yes. Each each guild gets a starting faction of 4 low-level adventurers, and one of them has a unique power. They all have different skill focuses, so each adventuring guild starts off best at one skill, and it has a reroll ability or a dice-fixing ability in one of those skills. But the special power of each adventurer can be used every other turn, and that helps you feel like your guild has a bit of a different strategic direction.
Sure, that makes sense.
You can kind of take it wherever you want.
Right, it's a nudge.
It's a nudge,
exactly. Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
This guild is completely different from that guild.
Yeah.
They kind of all overlap in
How many different guilds are there in the game?
There's 4 different guild setup boards, but there's 6 different teams, and we've got a sort of selection method to balance the teams against each other, depending on whether you're playing 2, 3, or 4 players. So it's all trying to balance, try and make sure that first turn nobody's kind of unfairly disadvantaged by anything. But after that, the players have started building up their own things, and whatever kind of special focus they get in the game is up to them.
Cool. Well, the one other question I have is, briefly, what do you do with the dice? There's a lot of dice in this game.
Let me explain one of those. So, well, let's say, I think I actually programmed this wrong, but let's say this team here was going to contract 2, ambush poachers. You can see they've got 3 and 1 might skill here. That represents the number of dice they can roll.
Okay.
And that represents the target number they're after. So 4 dice against 11, pretty good odds. So you really got to manage your risk reward.
Looks like you're fine.
I'm fine. As I said, each guild has
the reroll, right?
Reroll abilities, and these are double-sided. So if you don't like rolling, you can actually use the dice fixing side to fix any number to a 5.
Okay.
So you can kind of get a +3 or +4 as standard, or you can go with your chances. I always choose the re-rolling side because I like rolling people.
You're that kind of person.
But yeah, I mean, we know that some gamers don't like the chance that much and want some kind of dice fixing ability.
Yeah.
So we've put both sides, give people the options to do whichever one they like.
Yeah, awesome. So what's the production schedule for this one?
Production schedule, it kind of got held up in the virus production, so it's in production
things
now.
going on.
I think it's probably got about 5 or 6 weeks to go in production. Then it'll be going out to backers from the Kickstarter a year or so ago, and out in retail before Gen Con.
Excellent. So looking like July-ish.
Yeah, July-ish, and you should find it in stores and at Gen Con around that time.
Excellent. Well, thanks for coming on, Kim, and showing us Guildmaster.
Thanks, John.